The moment the sentence slipped out, the atmosphere in the living room shifted. Sharp, heavy, almost icy. I even laughed as I lifted my wine glass and joked, if Daniel were here tonight, I'd run off with him. It was supposed to be harmless, just a dumb, careless line to make our friends laugh. And they did. Awkward snickers, strained smiles. But my husband, Aaron, didn't. He didn't smile, didn't blink. He only stared, silent, tight-jawed, unreadable. The slow clench of his jaw was almost painful to witness. It wasn't anger in his eyes. It was something far worse. A kind of knowing. And in that instant, my stomach dropped. He knew. The night collapsed fast after that. People grabbed their coats quicker than ever. Laughter dying mid-sentence, conversations abandoned halfway. No one met our eyes. My joke had exploded like a live grenade on the coffee table. When the last guest left and the door clicked shut, the house drowned in silence. Aaron didn't move or speak or even glance in my direction. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. Aaron, I whispered. He finally lifted his gaze, and I stepped back without meaning to. His eyes weren't tearful, but they were glossy, with a hurt too deep for tears. Who is he? He asked. His voice was low, steady, terrifying in its calm. It was just a joke, I swallowed. Aaron. Don't. He cut me off, shaking his head. Don't insult me like that. Not after everything. His voice cracked on the last word, and something inside me splintered. I reached toward him, but he stepped away. Tell me the truth, Emma. Please. And that's when everything began unraveling. Daniel wasn't some random name. He was familiar, too familiar. A coworker, a friend, someone whose attention felt flattering, exciting in a way I never admitted to myself. There had been messages, late-night conversations, emotional closeness that should have belonged only to my husband. I had crossed a line before I even recognized it was there. Nothing physical, nothing technically wrong. But betrayal doesn't always need touch. Sometimes it grows quietly, in the unanswered messages from your husband, in the quick replies to someone else, in the warmth that slowly moves from one person to another. Aaron had sensed it long before I did. I didn't cheat, I whispered. Tears stung my eyes. Aaron let out a shaky breath and sank onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. Do you think that makes it hurt less? He said. I stood there, unable to speak, my stomach twisting. He lifted his head, eyes hollow. You joked about running away with him, like it wasn't some far-fetched idea. Like it had crossed your mind before. His voice was barely there. Has it? I felt myself cracking. I never meant. That's not what I asked. The silence pressed down on us. Had I thought about it? Even briefly? Not realistically, not seriously, but in those lonely stretches where marriage felt repetitive and work felt exhausting, when Daniel's compliments came easily and the house felt too quiet, yes, a small, dangerous thought had existed. And Aaron saw everything in my hesitation. He nodded once, slow, devastated. Okay, he whispered. That's all I needed to know. The next morning was worse. Aaron was up before sunrise. I heard the closet door, drawers shutting softly, the rustle of clothes. When I walked in, he was packing a small duffel bag. A sharp panic hit me. Aaron, where are you going? He didn't lift his eyes. I need space. I need to breathe. I can't do that here right now. Aaron, please. Emma, he said, turning to me. I can't stay in the same house with someone who isn't sure she wants to be here. His words slammed into me. It was just thoughts, I whispered. They meant nothing. To you, he said quietly. They meant nothing to you.
But to me?
They were enough to feel you slipping away. A tear slid down my cheek. I didn't leave. I'm right here. He looked straight into me.
No.
You left the moment you found excitement somewhere else. His voice broke. And the worst part is, I kept waiting for you to come back. When he walked out, the house became a tomb. Every room carried a trace of him, the mug he always used, his jacket on the dining chair, the unfinished puzzle we swore we'd complete someday. Now, someday felt already gone. I wanted to call, to beg, to plead. But I knew that pushing now would destroy everything. So I sat on the living room floor, knees to my chest, tears running silently as I wondered how I had let things get so far. How I had taken the soft, steady love of a man like Aaron and traded pieces of it for fleeting attention from someone who never held my heart. I had nothing but regret, and fear that the man who left might not be the man who returned. 3 days passed. 3 days of silence. On the 4th, my phone buzzed. "We need to talk. I'll be home at 7. My stomach nodded. I spent the entire day pacing, rehearsing what to say, deleting the words, trying again. Nothing sounded right. At 7:02, the door opened. Aaron walked in looking exhausted, dark circles, tense shoulders, but something steadier in his expression. Resolve. He sat across from me. I braced myself. "Emma," he began, "I've thought a lot about this." My breath caught. When I married you, I knew relationships had highs and lows. I knew attraction happens. I knew people can get lonely or confused. He paused. But I never thought I'd be standing here wondering if I'm enough. "Aaron, no. Let me finish." His voice broke. "I love you. God, I love you so much it keeps me up at night. But love shouldn't feel one-sided." "It wasn't," I whispered. "It felt that way." He exhaled deeply. "I'm not going to force you to choose tonight. I'm not going to beg. But I need honesty, Emma. Real honesty. Do you want this marriage? Do you want me?" The room felt suspended. "Yes," I croaked. "I want you. I always have." I was insecure and foolish, and let attention slip into cracks I didn't realize were there. Tears blurred my vision. But it was never Daniel. It was never anyone but you. Aaron looked away, jaw tight. Then why did it take almost losing me to realize that? I didn't answer. Because the truth hurt. Because it shouldn't have taken this. Because sometimes we see the worth of what we have only when its absence feels unbearable. He rubbed his eyes. "I'm willing to try. But things will change. We need clarity, rebuilding, transparency, maybe counseling, maybe time." "Anything you need," I whispered. He nodded, still not looking at me. "I'm not forgiving you today. I don't know when I will. But I'm here. That's all I can offer right now." And somehow that was enough. Because it wasn't goodbye. Not yet. The first step toward healing wasn't dramatic. No kiss, no revelation, no grand apology. Just a small, quiet smile as he sat down on the couch, still distant, still bruised, but present. A fragile steadiness filled the space between us. For the first time in days, I felt the true weight of love, heavy, imperfect, but worth fighting for. He reached out, slow and hesitant. There was pain in that touch, but also something else. A beginning. Not a return to what we were, but something new, built from truth, from the mess, from the quiet promise that even broken things can be pieced back together if the people holding them refuse to let go. And for the first time in days, a small laugh slipped from my lips. The room finally felt warm again.